Oh, what's up, everybody? We're back with the Melted Icebox. My colors are probably messing with people's heads. That better. Tonight we got the Melted Icebox like every week, and we're gonna be talking about a bunch of different things. It's not gonna be your average show that everybody would be used to because there's a lot of different things that we're gonna discuss in a whole little bit of time. More or less, we're definitely going to touch on men's mental health because dealing with it directly myself, it's not an easy thing to do. It's really not. And
I deal with it.
absolutely, absolutely. It. I don't know the best way to say it. It's like there's so many different things that I'm trying to say at once. Basically, shit gets really tough and really hectic. Okay, and a lot of people I see they don't have nobody to reach out to. They ain't got nobody to talk to, and they finally break. And when they break, it's really bad. A lot of people do have people to reach out to, but are afraid to reach out to. And then a lot of people, such as myself, don't reach out to people. Why? Because I was that kid that got picked on in school and started fighting back. And whenever that happened was when I learned I had to rely on myself. And doing that when it comes to mental health is probably one of the worst mistakes I could possibly make. And then it's not like, oh, this one little thing happens or that one little thing's happened. Like, hey, both your vehicles break down, your computer gets destroyed, and one of your close friends die. That is where people can get to the breaking point. And if you don't find a way to deal with it without allowing yourself to be harmed, all you're going to do is bury yourself and be harmed, regardless of the situation. I see too many people, oh, I don't want to talk about mental health. That's just not something I want to talk about. I'm a culprit of it. I don't, look, there's not a chance in hell that I'm going to go see a goddamn doctor, period. Because 90% of them, in my eyes, just want to pump me up with drugs. And I'm sorry, I'd rather not. There are very few that's not out there about trying to pump you up with drugs, but it's hard to find them. However, when you reach out to people, it's friends that you don't normally talk to, but you know they're cool, you know you could trust them, and you know you could talk to them. So that's the ones you do. Yes, if you're like in my shoes, I don't want to reach out to somebody that I work with, somebody that is like fuck one of my best friends, but I don't want to reach out to one of my best friends and take it as when they're trying to talk to me straight up about the situation, is me taking it as they're judging me. So I don't even approach them with it. However, I am learning that is talking to people outside that aren't in your normal circle. That actually can help. Too many times do we just, oh, he's just got issues. He'll be all right. Not always going to be all right. I couldn't get the exact numbers for 2020, but I was looking at the stats. And it seems to be that men have a higher rate of suicide with non diagnosed mental disorders than women. Why is that? Well, welcome to the stream, my friend Rocket. You're more than welcome to come into Discord. Why is that? Because men have always been brought up, oh, you gotta be a soldier. You gotta be able to stand there and handle that no matter what. You got this. You're strong. You're a strong man. But what they forget to tell you is it's okay to be broken. It's okay to cry. It's okay to call one of your friends you ain't talked to in 5 years and be like, look, this is the deal. So and so just passed. I just need somebody to talk to. Is 10 to 1 odds if they ain't with their family or something of that nature, they're going to make time. But we need to stop being the assholes and ignoring it when it's there. We need to stop being the ones that are blind and ignoring it. Yes, a lot of us don't want to talk to our parents about things like that, but we will. And a lot of us don't have parents to talk to about it, but we'll talk to somebody else about it. And that's so a lot of the time that's not the right way to go, because when you talk to your parents, sometimes they'll put a judgment which doesn't necessarily help. But then again, sometimes you need mom, you need dad. So more or less, it's just finding the people that you can talk to about it that's not going to judge you. So I mean, when it comes to mental health, like I said, it's there. It's there. It's 1,000,000% there, and a lot more than people actually realize. Especially with the pandemic, having everybody locked down for all this time. Some states it really harmed. And I was looking at another study where it was talking about relationships being completely destroyed. Why? Because of the lockdowns. You locked people in cages for a year. And let's ignore all the mental health problems that caused. Why? Do you know why they're ignoring all the mental health problems caused by that pandemic, Nate? Oh, I think he's AFK. Are you here?
Accountability for it.
No. No. Do you know why? Would you like for me to tell you?
Sure.
Because they don't want Biden to think he's the only one with mental problems and forgetting where he's at. I mean, it's obvious. But anyway, so let's keep going with this. So, what's your opinion on everything, Nate?
Well, coming from somebody that has problems diagnosed, clinically diagnosed, and I was even on disability for a little while because of it. Um, it it's hard for, as a guy to open up because, like you even said, we're drilled in our heads. We're supposed to be tough. We're supposed to be a strong one. But then when on the flip note, you reach out and you say, "Hey, I got an issue." What tends to happen is people look at you different, and then because of that, you sit and go, "I'm not going to say anything." Keep internalizing,
Yes.
and that's what sucks. Because then I'm afraid to reach out again, or I don't even want to use the word afraid. You hesitate to reach out because there's such a stigma to a guy saying, "Hey, I have, I'm going through some stuff and need someone to talk to. I need help." You know, I'm teetering on the edge here. I just need someone to just grab a hold of my shirt and keep me from falling over. People go, "Wow, you're supposed to be the strong one. You're a guy," or "You've been the rock for everybody else. Why do you need help?" And they don't realize that even though you're a rock for others, as you're taking on that extra weight to be the rock, it's breaking you down on top of what you're already dealing with.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's without question. Um, I'm kind of. You guys are. Oh, You people's all gonna notice. I'm not here. I'm here. I'm lost. I got some silly shit happening right now. If I seem off, it's just something that's gonna happen today. And it actually has to do with like dealing with mental health issues. But anyway, let's go ahead back into that. So if we're gonna talk about that specific time, and this is kind of coexisting with it, what do you think was worse? The pandemic or the constant beatdowns of a person who just can't focus? Who the hell's outside my house? Anyway, what do you think was worse, the pandemic or the constant beatdowns of somebody's how they are?
I think the pain because it closed us off to being able to, you know, there are subtle ways, speaking, there are subtle ways to try to that people do to try to get themselves, say, out of a funk or to change their mindset, which could be something as simple as, hey, I'm gonna go over and play a video game with my boy, or I'm gonna go sit and have a drink with my boy, or play pool, or throw darts, or whatever. And because those outlets were removed, it I think that's worse.
Yeah, that's
I think
another
it's worse.
thing. Let's go ahead right into that topic. Let's go right into talking about that. So sometimes I'm not gonna blame females for everything. That's just stupidity. But sometimes you got a female, and it's like a lot of women are naturally jealous. So if you're hanging out with your friends, if you're giving your friends too much time, they're gonna hold it against you. However, when you're breaking down and you're trying to reach out to one of your friends because you don't feel confident to talk to your significant other about it, when a lot of women or even significant others in general need to understand you're not always the outlet for us to get through the problems we're having. And you need to stop acting like you can be the doorway where we got to go through you to get to the person that we need to get to, whether it be a doctor, whether it be a friend that's been there all of your life, whether it be a parent. We have too many times where, oh, if you go talk to that person, we're through. And then I've never had to deal with it like that with me. But then you get some people who literally are through. And why? Because they wasn't allowed to reach out. Okay, the people you, Japa 1985 says, the people you work hard for, provide for, don't love you, and don't notice your difficulties. We also let them do this to us. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm with you 1,000,000%. I see that all the time. So, and sometimes it could just be that we're interpreting that way. Like, let's be honest. When it comes to mothers, I'm not saying all mothers are home or nothing like that. But I think it's still about 60% of families, the mother's taking care of the children. So if we're considering that is also including two parent households, that means there are a lot of mothers are staying home to take care of kids. Once again, I'm not saying that they're supposed to or anything like that. But if we look at it from that, obviously the child's going to be closer to the mother. It's common knowledge. The father, usually in a lot of scenarios, in my scenario, we'll just use me. I work every day and my woman stays home. So obviously my kids are going to be closer to my woman than with me because not only am I at work all day and I don't see them, But when I come home, guess what? Dad's also the authority. So then dad gets to be the bad guy and make them clean a room or correct them for something that they did, things of that nature. And in return, and meanwhile, it's like we're at work. Sometimes we just want to be told, "Hey, thanks, Dad. I know you're never home, but you work a lot. Thanks, Dad." We don't even get that. It's here comes Dad. And like I said, I'm not saying that it would be required, but just the acknowledgement. I think when it comes to fathers, the acknowledgement a lot of the time. And then there's families where a mother alienates the father. The father's doing everything in their power, but to the mother, it's a piece of shit. Even if the mother's with him, they're going to down talk the father when he's at work to the kids, or vice versa. The father down talking the mother when she's at work to the kids. It takes away from the ability of families to actually be close. Oh,
Can you
well,
reread that comment for me for a moment?
which comment?
That one that you were basing your comment off of.
Uh,
Your reply
Japa
to.
1985, he had stated,
Yeah.
the people you work for, or the people you work hard to provide for, don't love you and don't notice your difficulties. We also let them do this to us. But he also just said, exactly, we let our child treat us like this. I don't necessarily let my children treat me like this because, yeah, I work, but when I come home, I'm not only the authority figure. Usually, it's not the greatest, but usually I'll try to like bring some chocolate milk home for them, or get a couple boxes of lunch cakes, or bring some pizza or something of that nature. Just something that they know, hey, Dad is here and he's trying to reach out. Even if they don't understand it now, because my kids range from 4 to 17, but my 17-year-old doesn't live with me. But the 4 to the 12-year-old, that's my other 4 children, they know Dad might not be here all the time, and Dad works hard and works a lot, but if I do what I'm told and I clean up after myself, 10 to 1 odds, Dad's gonna look out for me. And if I want to go for a ride, up until my vehicle started acting stupid, I would just like my kid Luke, come on Luke, let's get in the car, we're gonna go up to the store. And then I'd be intending to go 2 minutes up the hill to the store, but I end up going like 25 minutes down the road to a different store just so we could bullshit. Things like that where I get one-on-one time with the kids. But a
I
lot
want
of
to say
parents don't have that opportunity. Good.
I want to say it's a kind of double-edged sword, unfortunately. So you have we'll go off of we'll just use me and you for a moment. I'm the single one. You're the one that has the family. You come home every day. You have, you know, your struggles with the family,
30 minutes to
whatever it
get
may be.
home and get back, and I got 5 minutes once I'm here to get the kids to school, but it takes me 14 minutes to get home and get back, and it takes me about 8 minutes to get to the school, drop them off, and then leave.
Yeah, I mean, that's an example of one of your
My
struggles,
lunch
and
break.
that wears on you.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
then you have someone like me who's single, go to work every day,
He's starring in Dances with Goats.
coming home to essentially an empty house. I mean, I do have a dog, but you know, it's it's a double-edged sword because kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because you don't have somebody that you would like to at times just come home to, and what I'm essentially getting at is there's struggles on both sides,
But it's
and
harder to be
people.
a parent with a significant other whose significant other has some sort of mental issues.
Well, I'm not saying one's harder or not. I'm saying that
Oh, I
I'm
thought that's
getting
what you
what
were
I'm getting.
insinuating.
No, what I was getting at is each side has struggles that people don't realize, and some people sit and go, "Oh, single life's the greatest." You got. I've had married friends of mine going, "Oh, single life. Wish I was single again," and they don't realize that I'm sitting there going, "Dude, I wish I was married. I wish I had a significant other."
Yeah, I can understand that, but
Yeah, and that's the thing that people don't realize. People think that the only people that could have certain disabilities or reasonings for, say, depression or whatever, you're you know you're married and have kids, or you have a significant other and kids, or you just have a significant other, and they don't realize that actually both sides are dealing with stuff in different categories or similar categories that people don't realize. You know, the comment about, people don't care, but at the same note, when you're working and you're coming home to an empty home, that kind of wears on you after a while.
absolutely,
You know,
absolutely.
you, you know, you don't have the you don't have anybody appreciating what you do. Same note, I walk through the door every day and there is nobody there to even attempt to appreciate anything I do.
See, I don't want to say being with the woman that I've been with for 15 years now has gotten to the point where it's a mistake. And I don't want to say that it has gotten to be too much. But dealing with what I deal with on a daily basis is
Rough.
just, it's to the point where I'm starting to look at it like, am I taking too much damage mentally to continue on this? Because she has her issues. She has a back issue and she's on meds for it, and they make her loopy. And it's like I wouldn't leave somebody because they broke their toe. So I don't want to leave her because she's lost. However, when is it damaged, taking its toll too much to where it's only going to be negative? Like it's only going to be a negative effect. There's not going to be a positive to it, if that makes sense.
Oh, it definitely makes sense. But
Like
I
I
guess
am
for
a
each
firm.
each person that deals with that has to essentially analyze.
Jappa said he had a divorce. It was the hardest thing he ever did in his life, and he still cries about it when he thinks about it. Um, I could see it being really, really hard. Absolutely. Yeah, well, I mean, I've been with the woman I've been with for 15 years, and I just don't know if I'm taking too much damage at this point now or not, because it's starting to severely affect me mentally. And my kid's got to have somebody that's going to be coherent, somebody that's not going to break down. And that's what kind of scares me about everything.
because you're taking too much of a beating, and
Trying to shield
you're
the
gonna
damage and catching it all. If that
and
makes
then
sense.
you're gonna break, and then kids aren't gonna have anybody to lean on.
Yeah. Basically. But let's go ahead and jump off of that topic. There was a few other topics. I didn't want to touch any of the BS. I kind of want to stay away from the BS for now. And that's any war or any politics. There was something that I was just reading about earlier, and I wanted to discuss it, but honestly, I forgot about it. Oh, what the hell was it?
I don't know.
Well, here, let's just talk about this. How about this alien situation?
What alien situation?
Every time, look, everybody knows I don't watch TV. I listen to YouTube, but I'll put something on that I actually enjoy. Not something that I don't watch mainstream anything. I care less about any of that garbage that's from the movies to the news. I don't care. Unless it's the weather, because I like the local weather guys. They're pretty cool. But other than that, there's nothing important on the news for me. I do all my. I'll look at like scenarios. I'll see where the article's from, and then I'll go start researching it on my own without going to that source. But everywhere I'm looking, I'm seeing, oh, this general's talking about this UFO, and that general's talking about that UFO, and this and that and this and that. Okay.
This country's releasing information about it, and that country is releasing information about it.
Yeah. So here's my question about everything. There's one thing that I've learned from history. When something's going on over here, which would be the UFO, what's in the other hand?
Yeah, what are we being distracted from?
And it makes me wonder if it's the inflation or if there's something else going on. And I'm not trying to go in a conspiracy theory or nothing like that.
Well,
but everybody
okay.
can admit the truth of where it's at. Our government is known to create distractions to do other things. I'm not saying they're going to do something bad. I'm saying that they're trying to draw our attention for some reason, and I want to know from what.
Well, that's like here, case in point. Okay. Murder hornets. Those were a hot topic for what, like a month?
Yeah, and didn't they say something else was coming after it?
Yeah, and then there's nothing. And then you have just before that it was another Ebola outbreak.
Yeah.
And that once that lost traction, the murder hornets came around, and that lost traction. It's like, okay, now what? You know what? But I sat and
Let me say
questioned.
something real quick, because I keep reading that comment, and it's kind of like sticking with me. Japa, I don't understand what you go through, and I could see why you feel the way you do every time you think about it. However, don't ever be afraid to reach out if you just need to talk. I mean, keep your head up. Most importantly, but I'm around. If you need to BS it, like I understand. I've been through hell and back. So feel free to reach out anytime if you need to. But all right, good.
But I said for a while, you know, what were we being distracted from? And nobody could give me an answer.
Bad thing
And
is,
then,
I pay attention to a lot of them things, and I look very closely, but I don't look into the left side or I don't look into the right side. I look into the numbers side. I'm seeing numbers skyrocket. So the question is, what is like, why are we not hearing about these crazy ass inflation situations happening? They mumbled it. They briefly talked about it, but then it. Whoa.
Like getting a 2x4 for $15 now.
400
When they
and
were like
some
two
percent.
dollars.
Oh, dude,
What
it's
was that?
sad. It was like 400% the last time I looked.
Oh yeah.
It's disgusting. I mean, but you know what? You know what? Let me say it this way. Let me say it this way. Is there shortages? Yeah. Is there inflation? Yeah. Is it because of the money that they've been giving out? Not yet. This is probably from the worker shorters. I am not a financial guy. I'm not claiming to be one. Do never ever take financial advice from me. Period. Point blank. Look at the numbers though. September's when that money's going to start raising up. Um,
Further than it already has.
Trying to think of the most proper way to say it. How many people? There's 330 millions 330 million Americans in the United States. They're around there. And I'd say 300 million, 295 to 300 are probably about to bend over. Wow, just a few people take a real old, rusty ball bat, and we don't need to go no further because pay attention. When prices increase, taxes increase, and our paychecks get smaller, what happens? Um,
Disgruntled.
Bond return rates have gone up because there's a risk we can't repay our debt. That's what Joppa 1985 says. I could believe it. I can't confirm it because I've never really paid attention to bonds, but I do pay attention to 401ks because I have one. However, I'm afraid that 401k, say there's $25,000. What was that?
No.
Let me see something.
No.
Trying to look. Okay. Well, no, what did you say?
I thought I lost you.
Oh, no. And I'm watching my frame rates. That's why I was like, what the hell is he talking about? But like, I watched my 401k, and I'm afraid, say there's 25 grand in a 401k. I'm afraid the value is going to get so depreciated that 25 grand is technically only going to be worth about 7 grand. I'm afraid that our money's going to end up becoming like, what was it, Venezuela, where they had all of them dineros or whatever they were all over the road. I seen the videos from Timcast, and I'm sorry to say I trust his media reporting more than most because he's never given me some bullshit. So that's where that ends up. Let me check something. I think it's Operation Bluebeam. If we start getting holographic images in the sky, it's been tried in other countries, and anybody that wants to talk about what other country, I'm not going to say that it was done as a manipulation tactic to people. I'm saying they have put holograms in the sky in China and several other countries. But if we start seeing shit in the sky and it's holographic, remember that technology exists. I think because somebody sent me something about Project, I want to say it was Bluebeam. And I don't want to say that it would surprise me, but I don't want to say it wouldn't surprise me. Nothing really does. So I could see if there's really something that's going to happen, that being something, some technique that they would use. What other topics we gonna talk about? I got one actually. Hey Nate,
I'm listening.
how about the charts flipping around Tom McDonald? Like,
I don't know.
basically Tom McDonald was showing video where him and the number one guy was both like a whole bunch of reviews, a whole bunch of stars, a whole bunch of this, whole bunch of that. Then Nicki Minaj's song with Drake and Lil Wayne was there, but it had nothing. But it was above his. Like industrial being paying for BS. Let's see. So more or less, I want to say it was billboards, but I'm not 100%. So I don't quote me on. But he was making the accusation. I guess we have to call it, even though there's verifiable proof. That they were pissing around. They were just basically putting it up there without anything. It's kind of sad that there was 3 copies up there: a clean version, a dirty version, and an instrumental. Try hard, maybe. Funny part is, it was against an independent musician. But let's go ahead and end this, because I will be doing this interview at supposed to be 9:15 my time. I'm waiting for a message back from him, and that will be posted on my Facebook page. It'll be Dope Builds Gaming on Twitch. So if you guys want to find out more, they're interviewing me to find out. They want to ask me questions. With that being said, anybody that's here, that's watched the stream, that's hung out, that's used the chat, that liked or subscribed or whatever, anybody that just stopped by, I appreciate it all. I really do. And you're all invited to come back around anytime. With that being said, humans or savages are humans too.